This piece, entitled "What are Dreams?" is taken from the question box in which a Theosophist identified as TK explores esoteric issues in the format of a questions and answers dialogue. What are dreams? Read by Dave Marsland of Cardiff Theosophical Society. In response to the question, what are dreams? TK answers, dreams are the results of the soul's activities and experiences during partial or imperfect physical sleep. It is suggested that this sentence be studied critically in order that no phase of its meaning or significance may be overlooked. In perfect physical sleep, there are no dreams at all. This is because the consciousness is registering wholly through the spiritual channels of sense upon the exclusively physical plane. Something occurs to disturb that state of complete withdrawal from the plane of physical consciousness. The soul begins to operate imperfectly through the physical channels of sense. In that state of transit between perfect physical sleep and perfect physical wakefulness, the two sets of sense channels are working independently of each other. As a result, the impressions received by the consciousness through the spiritual channels of sense are confused with the activities of the physical channels of sense. It is this confusion that gives rise to the grotesque impressions that come in dreams. It is seldom that there is any logic or sequence in real dreams. This is because of the confusion which arises by reason of the effort of consciousness to coordinate the spiritual with the physical channels of sense perception. The question naturally arises as to why it is, if in perfect physical sleep the soul is awake on the spiritual plane, we do not carry back into the waking physical state a remembrance of all that has occurred in that spiritual state. It is not only an interesting question, but a most difficult one to answer in such a manner as to convey a definite understanding of the exact reasons. Possibly nothing short of a number of psychological experiments will ever make the matter clear to anyone who has not already worked it out. Did you ever see a man walking along the street in the midst of many people, all the while intently talking to himself? He takes no conscious note of anything about him. In this condition of intense introspection, I once saw a man travel 4 miles without knowing that he had gone any distance at all. He was unable to recall a single thing he had seen or heard throughout the entire journey, and yet he was wide awake all the while. More than this, he was physically wide awake according to our general understanding of that term. But why was he unconscious of his physical surroundings? This was because he was, for the time being, so intensely preoccupied and absorbed with the mental world upon which his consciousness was fixed, that whatever impressions were made by and through his physical channels of sense, other than those employed in thinking, were relatively so negative as to leave no result whatever. He could not recall them. During physical wakefulness, while the consciousness is absorbed upon the plane of physical experiences, we live so intently in the world of impressions which come to us through the channels of physical consciousness that we have no power to recall any experiences but those that have come to us through the then active channels. It requires long and patient effort under intelligent guidance to cultivate the ability to receive impressions through both channels of sense in such manner as to differentiate them and remember both distinctly. But it can be done. This I know from actual experience. For more than 20 years I have been able to do this.